From an early age, August Alsina had to confront very painful realities. From severe illnesses to lost loved ones, even some of the young R&B star's proudest accomplishments have caused him immense pain. It's fair to say that August Alsina didn't exactly have a childhood of privilege. His dental assistant mother had to take on 2 different jobs just to make ends meet, and both his father and his stepfather had problems with substance abuse. In a 2013 chat with Complex, the singer said,
"My pops, we didn't have the best relationship because he was struggling with drug addiction. And that's just pretty much what it is.
That just take over your whole body that you really don't just have no control over." Alsina initially grew up in a rough part of downtown New Orleans before his family relocated to Texas with his stepfather. In the same interview, Alsina explained that his stepfather also struggled with addiction and explained that their family moved in an attempt to limit his access to narcotics. Unfortunately, Alsina's stepfather continued his drug use in their new home as well. Not only did 2 of the most important men in August Alsina's life deal with addiction, but he lost his own brother early on in life. Alsina recalled to Complex that his brother once told him, "Man, we from New Orleans, we don't make it to live past 24. Sadly, it proved to be a prophetic statement. As in 2010, Melvin LeBranch III died from a gunshot wound in a mystery that remains unresolved. Alsina was distraught by the tragedy, but it also gave him the impetus to get out of his neighborhood and pursue his musical ambitions. He told Complex, "So at that point, I was like, man, I'm out here. We all live in the same way. This is what happened to him, so it's what's going to happen to me the same way. I was just like, it's either this or that."
The same way they have that post-traumatic stress disorder, we have it too. Every young kid in the hood have it too.
To make matters worse, a cousin pointed the finger of blame squarely at the R&B hitmaker. In an unusual act of transparency, Alsina posted several of the expletive-filled text messages from the family member in question to Instagram in 2015. August Alsina dealt with another family tragedy in 2018 when his sister-in-law, Chandra, died from cancer. She had previously been married to the singer-songwriter's late brother, and amazingly, Alsina agreed to become his 3 orphaned nieces' legal guardian upon her passing. Speaking with People magazine about his newfound responsibility, he reflected, "They are beautiful kids with beautiful energy. I'm excited to see life unfold for them, and I want to be as present as I possibly can within their life, while still being able to show them what it looks like to have a career." Alsina, who described the trio as his Nodders, also disclosed what Chandra said to him shortly before her passing after he agreed to take custody of them. He recalled, "She texted me, 'All this time you've been running from being a parent, from having kids, and now you're forced to.' I'm like, I just play the cards that life deals me, and I'll figure everything out. She said, 'You always do,' and she went to sleep, and that was that." There's a reason why Alsina so often sports a pair of shades, and it's not simply to look cool.
In 2015, the singer revealed that he had been diagnosed with a degenerative eye condition called keratoconus, which will eventually leave him blind.
Speaking to Billboard about this ordeal later that same year, Alsina admitted that he was initially in denial about his condition. He ultimately consulted several other doctors who confirmed the diagnosis, which led him to accept the difficult truth. In an interview for The Angie Martinez Show, Alsina revealed that he had to get a procedure that was not yet FDA approved in the United States to help the disease from quickly worsening. He said that the surgery, which left him blind for several days, brought him a new appreciation for the things in life that come naturally.
For me to not be able to see for 2-3 days straight, it was hell.
In 2017, August Alsina made headlines for his health after revealing that he was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. According to the Mayo Clinic, this is a rare disorder in which your body's immune system attacks your nerves. The disease has affected his liver, and as with his degenerative eye condition, Alsina admitted that he struggled with the diagnosis at first, but he eventually accepted it after learning about its hereditary nature. In an Instagram post, Alsina wrote that his father's mother and sister revealed to him that members of their family have often struggled with illness. He wrote, "My father and grandfather both died of severe illness, but they were fighters, and that's all that matters. Just ride with me is all I ask." Alsina also made it clear that he didn't want his illness to affect how anyone saw him. He wrote that, despite the difficulties of his medical condition, he wasn't looking for anybody's sympathy. August Alsina's health woes continued in 2019 when he suddenly found himself unable to walk. As the R&B star told fans on Instagram, he was admitted to a hospital after waking up one morning without any feeling in his legs. When his test results came back, it turned out he was suffering nerve damage throughout his body.
It's like my immune system just went on vacation.
The singer appeared to be in good spirits, however, joking that he had just received a new car while pointing the camera toward his hospital walker. 2 months later, Alsina updated his followers about his situation. He wrote, "My doctors have started me on my IV antibody immunotherapy. In short form, it's sort of like chemo, but instead for my immune system. Only in this case, not killing the cells, but encouraging my nervous system and body to rebuild." If any of his posts from the past year are an indication, it looks like Alsina has recovered from this particular impairment. August Alsina fans were left mightily concerned in 2014 when the R&B star suddenly collapsed and fell off the stage while performing at New York's Irving Plaza. Though it was a scary moment, Alsina managed to wave to the crowd as he was transported out of the venue on a stretcher. 4 years later, the BET Award winner explained on an episode of Red Table Talk that the accident was far more serious than it looked. In fact, after flatlining on 2 occasions, the star ended up spending 3 days in a coma. Luckily, Alsina was able to make a full recovery. In the interview, he reflected that at the time, he was performing too often and was not taking proper care of his body. He was drinking and smoking weed heavily, and eventually that habit caught up to him that fateful night in New York. In the same interview, he revealed that the accident also sparked an addiction to painkillers. While recovering from his injuries, Alsina was prescribed Percocet by his doctors to help with the pain. Unfortunately, the singer soon started to abuse them heavily.
I'm like raining perks off my body, off my house. I was literally raining pills like Skittles, for real.
Alsina recalled how it was a conversation with host Jada Pinkett Smith that proved to be the wake-up call he needed. Hearing the alarm and hurt in her voice as they spoke about his addiction inspired him to weather his withdrawal symptoms and get clean. Speaking with Vulture in 2020, Alsina lamented, "Black people are always overlooked, undercared for, underprivileged. It's been what it has been since the beginning of time. I know from my own experience dealing with the healthcare system, having to spend so much money to go to the doctor and still be overlooked, and I'm someone who has resources." Alsina explained that a year earlier, he had twice checked himself into the hospital with crippling pain, only to be sent home without any proper treatment on both occasions. Referring to his second visit, the R&B singer recalled that he arrived in a wheelchair and insisted he was sick. Recalling the state he was in, he described that his face was swollen and that he was, quote, feeling like death. After performing an examination, the doctors refused to prescribe him any medication before sending him home. Thankfully, Alsina was taken seriously on his third attempt to get help. He was referred to a larger hospital for a neurological examination. There, he was given some startling news. As he explained, "The reality is that I could have been dead, because by the time I got to the bigger hospital, the doctor told me that my respiratory system was shutting down, and it was good that I got in when I did."
In 2020, August Alsina pretty much broke the internet when he told former The Breakfast Club host Angela Yee that he had previously had an affair with the married Jada Pinkett Smith.
From Alsina's description of their relationship, it seems the pair had a seriously tight bond that he doesn't regret.
I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody.
Unfortunately, the former object of his affection cast him as a liar when she outright dismissed his claims. Smith later admitted on Red Table Talk that she had a, quote, entanglement with Alsina and denied that he had been a homewrecker because she and her husband Will Smith were separated at the time. Sadly, by that point, the damage was already done to Alsina's reputation. Speaking to Vulture that same year, Alsina explained that he was hugely affected by how he was portrayed following his confession. In addition to receiving hurtful comments from the public, the issues from his involvement with Pinkett Smith began to snowball into his professional life as well. He recalled, "It started to with my partnerships and business relationships and money because of people seeing me as this reckless guy who's like publicly announcing his love and pushing up on somebody's wife." August Alsina shocked fans in 2022 when he uploaded several photos of himself to Instagram looking bloodied and bruised. In the accompanying caption, the R&B star alleged that Tory Lanez was the one responsible for his injuries. Alsina claimed that Lanez, accompanied by 8 security guards, invaded his personal space after leaving a show and then asked why he was being ignored. Alsina explained to his followers that he didn't appreciate Lanez's previous comments about his romantic entanglement with Jada Pinkett Smith, saying, "I was a fan of him and didn't understand him speaking on my business publicly. In the past, because I don't know him or ever met him until last night. So when he spoke, it caught me off guard. Because of his past actions, I assumed he didn't like me. That's all." According to Alsina,
Alsina, Lanez then sucker punched him while he was attempting to make his exit. Alsina clarified he did not strike back, deeming the altercation an assault by Lanez. For his part, Lanez refuted this version of events.
Even so, TMZ reports he was later booted off the Fall Back in Love comedy and music jam tour after impresario Rip Michaels said he witnessed the incident.
Lanez was also ordered under house arrest after the scuffle was said to have violated previous bail conditions.
History may have repeated itself in August 2019 when August Alsina was on track to get kicked out of his home. The R&B star told USA Today that he had previously been sent packing by his own mother at age 16 after repeated arguments between the pair, forcing him to sell drugs in New Orleans to survive. But on this occasion, it was a disgruntled landlord giving the marching orders. According to papers provided to The Blast, Alsina was told to leave his 6-bedroom, 7-bathroom Ventura County mansion after falling behind on his rent. According to owner Robert Howard, the singer was behind $20,000 in rent after stopping all payments in February of that same year. Alsina, who had resided in the swanky property since 2016, was given a 3-day debt collection notice after he failed to cough up for March's rent. When this didn't do the trick either, Howard decided to take the R&B star to court over the dispute. Though we may never know exactly why Alsina stopped paying rent, given his many health struggles and the fact that he became the legal guardian to his nieces the year prior, there likely couldn't be a worse time for him to lose his housing. If you or anyone you know needs help with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.